Hey girls, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a recreation nail set using products from KIARA. I do want to go ahead and say I am part of their ambassador program, so if you are interested in any of the products I'll be using, everything will be linked down below. You can also use my discount code KCNAILS to save a little bit of money on your purchase. I do want to also go ahead and thank KIARA for sponsoring this video. For this video, I will be using my practice hand. It is already prepped and ready for the application, so let's get straight into that. For this manicure, I will be using KIARA jelly tips. These are the coffin long. I've actually only used these once and it was a really long time ago, so I figured I would pull them back out and use them again for another manicure. I will be using KIARA Beyond Pro Flash Cure LED nail lamp. This is a mini lamp to cure the nails into place. For this video, I will not be using the builder gel. I'm actually going to be using a clear polygel, so let's get right into the application. So I'm not going to be doing these steps for this video just because this is my practice hand. You do want to make sure to prep your natural nails very well as file the inside of the jelly tip and apply a layer of the jelly tip primer to the inside of the tip. This is going to allow your manicure to last as long as possible. So like I said, I'm going to be using a clear polygel. I'm just applying a small amount of this at the cuticle of the jelly tip, and I'm going to go ahead and place it on just as you would if you were using a liquid builder gel. So I'm just taking a polygel brush and dipping it into the rubbing alcohol. I'm going to be using this to clean around the cuticle and sidewall areas of the nail. If you have too much polygel on the back, you can also smooth that out before you cure. Once the nail is in the correct position, I am going to go ahead and cure for a full minute. So I do have a little air bubble underneath the free edge of the pinky. I'm honestly not too worried about it just because this is a practice hand. But if you do experience this with your jelly tips, you do want to make sure to fill it in. That way you don't have any bacteria getting underneath your nail. I am going to go ahead and repeat the same process for all of the other nails. So just because I always tell you guys the same thing with my application and all the steps that I'm doing, I feel like for the application, I do want to go ahead and talk about something else. I had a really good Thanksgiving weekend and Black Friday. I hope you guys had a really good Thanksgiving. How was yours? What did you do? Did you guys get anything for Black Friday? I know a lot of nail companies had some really good sales going on. I actually didn't get any nail products for Black Friday, but I did get a MacBook Pro for my video editing. Hopefully using that, I can level up my editing just a little bit, make it a little bit faster. So you guys might notice a difference very soon. I haven't got it yet because I had to order it, so that kind of sucks. But if you guys have a MacBook Pro like the new one, let me know what you think. Leave any helpful tips and tricks for learning how to use it, because honestly, I don't use any laptop or computer, so I'm basically like starting brand new with that. I do everything on my phone and I feel like it's going to be a hard transition using a laptop for editing. So hopefully it doesn't take me longer to edit my videos. But yeah, even if you have like general good information about the MacBook Pro, definitely leave it down below in the comments. So once all of the jelly tips are cured into place, I'm actually going to scoot the nail down just a little bit because I'm actually going to be taking the e-file on the nails and I don't want to accidentally file over my practice hand. So I know it looks a little bit crazy, but just try to ignore it. I am taking the lavender nail drill. I'm going to be using a fine grit sanding band. Honestly, this one is a little bit dirty, but I don't mind because this is only my practice hand. I'm going to use a speed of about 5,000 RPM and go ahead and file over the surface of the jelly tips. I'm mainly doing this to smooth around the cuticle and sidewalls, just to make sure the application for the gel polish is as smooth as possible. So I do want the nails to be a tiny bit shorter, so I'm going to be taking my nail tip cutters and I'm going to cut down the tiniest amount from the nails. So now that the jelly tips are prepped, we are ready for the gel polish application. For the base of the nails, I will be using the color Cheeky. This is like my favorite nude gel polish at the moment from KIARA Sky. I actually have it on my hand here. If you guys do want to check out this nail art, I will have it linked here in the cards as well as down below in the description. So typically you would want to apply a base coat gel. I'm just going to be skipping that. Do keep in mind with your gel polishes, you do want to work in very thin layers. Do make sure not to get any gel polish on the skin. If you do get any on your skin, do make sure to remove it before you cure. I'm just going to go ahead and apply 2 layers to all of the nails. I kind of want to hear your opinions on KIARA Sky's nude gel polishes. So if you use a KIARA Sky nude gel polish and you really like it, leave the name down below in the comments because I would love to try some more nude colors. So once I've applied the gel polish, I am using my KIARA Sky Lavender LED nail lamp and I'm going to go ahead and cure for 30 seconds. Once the first layer of gel is cured, I'm going to go ahead and do a second layer on all of the nails. Again, after the gel has been applied, I'm going to go ahead and cure for 30 seconds. So typically after the second layer of gel polish color, I would go in with a matte gel top coat, but for this video, I feel like doing something different. So I am taking a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the sticky layer from the nails. You do need to remove the inhibition layer, otherwise the nail art is not going to be as clean as possible. So this nail art inspiration is coming from Nails by, I don't want to say this wrong, I'm so sorry, but look how pretty these nails are. I had to recreate them. I will have their Instagram linked down below. Now we're ready for the nail art. I'm going to be using this color called Peaches and Cream. This is a really light creamy color. I feel like this color matched the inspo picture pretty well, and it does go very well with the color Cheeky. So I am going to be taking my tile. This is from a hardware store, and I'm going to be placing some of the Peaches and Cream gel polish color on top of this. For the nail art brush, I am using one of KIARA Sky's gel art liner brushes. This is from the gel art bottles. I like to use these for most of my nail art because I kind of got used to how to work with these, and I feel like they do a really good job for nail art. So picking up Peaches and Cream, I'm going to go ahead and do a fringe tip on the pinky. So from the center dot that I created, I'm going to go ahead and do a curved line going off towards the side of the nail. I did go ahead and start filling in the fringe tip just to see if this color looked okay, because when I first started applying it, I felt like it wouldn't show up that well, or like the color didn't match what I wanted. So I went ahead and started doing this a little bit weird. After filling in some of the fringe tip, I went ahead and did the other half of the smile line. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish up the fringe tip. Once I've completed the fringe tip, I am going to go ahead and cure. Okay, so going back with the same gel polish color, I'm going to go ahead and do a half and half nail on the ring fingernail. So I'm just starting with a line going down the center. Once I have that line, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the right side of the nail. Honestly, it doesn't matter if this line is like super straight or not, because we are going to be doing a white line over top. That can definitely cover up any mistakes, but do try to have it pretty decent so you don't have to worry about the line. So trying not to touch that one because it's still uncured. On the index nail, I'm going to be doing another like design like this one. I'm so obsessed with this style of nail design. I think it's so cute. I cannot stop doing them. I'm gonna start on the left side and do a diagonal line going down towards the right. Again, do keep in mind we're gonna be doing a sweater nail art design on the inside of this line, so you do wanna have it thick enough to do that nail design. Once I have those nails done, I am going to go ahead and cure. For the thumbnail, we're also going to be doing another fringe tip. So again, I'm starting with a little dot where I want this smile line, and I'm going to go off towards the side and do the curved line. As I always say, you can make this line as straight or as curvy as you like. Once I have the smile line, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the tip of the nail. Of course, once I have the fringe tip done, I am going to go ahead and cure. Next, I am going in with KIARA's Guys Gel Art Liner. This is the white canvas. By the way, I don't know why my white gel liners always get so messy. I try to clean them up, but it just keeps happening. So if this happens to you as well, let me know. Using this, I'm just going to outline in between these two colors. Okay guys, get ready. Hold your breath. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's a little bit crooked, but I keep like struggling, so I'm gonna do it off camera really quick and I'll come back in a sec. So I did this like the first try after doing it off camera. I don't know what's going on. I could not for the life of me get this line straight. So because I liked how it looked, I did go ahead and cure already just to make sure I didn't mess that up. So I am going back with the white gel liner and I'm going to go ahead and do a line on both sides of this thicker line. I feel like it is so cute. I love this trending like sweater nail design. For some reason, I'm like really struggling with the angles of my practice hand today. Maybe it's because I haven't used it in a while. I feel like I am really struggling with the practice hand angles today, so I'm struggling again. Okay, so it's the next day. I had to take a little bit of a break because I felt like my lines were not turning out how I wanted, and I thought maybe it's because I was a little bit tired. So for the next step, I will be using the gel art liner. This is called Gold Exhibit. This is a really pretty gold colored gel liner, so I'm going to be using this to do some snowflakes. So on the left side of the ring fingernail, I'm going to start in the center and just do a line following the white one. I'm gonna go ahead and do more lines going off towards the side of the nail. So I'm pretty sure this is not a snowflake, this is just a star. And I'm going to do the same thing for the base of the index nail. So the inspiration for this nail design, she did stars. I was kind of thinking to do snowflakes, but I did end up doing stars as well. My stars are a little bit different than hers because, for example, these little lines are a lot shorter than hers, but these are still 8-pointed stars. Once I have the gold lines, I am going to go ahead and cure it. So after I've cured these stars, I'm going to go ahead and take KIARA's Guys Velvet Matte Gel Top Coat. I love this matte gel top coat. I use it for every single nail set that requires a matte gel top coat. I'm going to go ahead and add a layer of this to all of the nails. So honestly, something I did not think about was with this nail design, these stars are going to be covered up with the matte gel top coat, and I don't think that's gonna look right. Just because typically like glitters and stuff don't look that well when they're matte, at least not for this style of nail design. So I might have to go over those with a second layer of the gel liner. I am going to go ahead and cure the matte gel top coat. So I am going back with my tile because we're going to go ahead and do the sweater nail design. I will be using the same color that I used for the lighter color, and I'm going to go ahead and place some more on the tile. So going back with the liner brush, I am picking up the lighter shade of gel polish, and I'm going to go ahead and start the sweater nail design. So I know there's like a gazillion different ways to do sweater nail designs, but I'm going to be doing my favorite one again. I've already done like 2 or 3 videos using this design and I'm obsessed, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. For this, it is just 2 lines that are parallel with each other. Do make sure to leave enough room for the design in the center. Once I have those long side lines, I'm going to go ahead and do the little parallel ones. This is going to go all the way up towards the smile line. Once I have all of the little parallel lines, I'm going to go ahead and connect the top of the left one to the bottom of the right one. And for the side of the sweater nail design, I'm going to go ahead and do some vertical lines. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Once I have the sweater gel nail design, I'm going to go ahead and take KIARA Sky's all-in-one acrylic. This is the clear. And I'm just taking a cuticle pusher and I'm going to pour the clear acrylic powder over the uncured gel. Doing this will give you the textured gel design. And I'm going to go ahead and cure for a full minute. And I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the remaining powder from the nail. I am going to go ahead and do the same sweater nail design on the lighter side of the ring fingernail. So actually, instead of doing the complete sweater nail design, I'm going to draw it as if it's being cut off by the white line. So I'm just starting with one of the long vertical lines going down the nail. And we're going to be doing only one side of the little lines. Once I have those, I'm going to go ahead and make the design go towards the white side as if it's connecting to the other side of the little lines. So I might not be like describing what I'm doing that well for this one, but it's the same thing as the previous nail. I'm just like cutting off half of the design. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. And of course, after doing the cable knit design, I'm going to go ahead and do the little vertical lines on the side of the line. Going back with the clear all-in-one acrylic, I'm going to go ahead and pour this over the uncured gel. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and cure. That turned out so cute. I was actually kind of surprised at how well I did that, being that the whole like center of the nail design is cut off. I'm also going to be doing the same sweater nail design on the thumbnail as well. I kind of skipped over it for some reason, but we're going to go ahead and do the cable knit design on the inside of this thicker line. So for the cable design on the thick stripe, I am just doing the same thing as I did for the center of the sweater nails. So I'm just starting with those very small parallel lines that go from one side of the nail all the way to the other. Once I have all of those little vertical lines, I'm going to connect the top of the left line to the bottom of the right line. Once I have that nail art done, I'm going to go ahead and pour the acrylic powder over the uncured gel. And I'm going to go ahead and cure for a full minute. So like I said earlier, because the matte gel top coat was applied over the glitter liner, I'm going to add a second layer of the glitter gel liner over the existing design. Honestly, you could apply the non-wipe gel top coat over the star portion, but basically I would have to do the exact same thing, so I figured I would just go ahead and do a second layer of the glitter. That way too I can have a little bit more of an opaque glitter. I am also deciding last minute to add a little outline to the French tips using the same glitter gel liner. Once I have the gel liner done, I'm going to go ahead and cure. So we're going to go ahead and start the 3D flowers. I do have my rubbing alcohol here, a white polygel, and the polygel brush to form the flowers. I'm just starting by taking the dotting tool and I'm going to dip it in the rubbing alcohol. This is going to prevent the polygel from sticking too much to the dotting tool. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a small bead of the white polygel and place it down in the center of the nail. As you guys may know if you watch my videos, the biggest tip I have for doing polygel flowers is to make sure you don't have too much liquid in your brush. Otherwise, it is going to mix with the polygel and make it too runny. You do need a very stiff polygel for 3D flowers. I'm just going to go ahead and start forming the flower. I'm just starting by smashing a line down the center, and then I'm going to go ahead and shape the rest. So I'm actually trying a different type of flower. I've never done this style of flower before, so I am kind of nervous to see how it turns out. This first one here is one of the pointy ones, but it's not quite as long as the ones that I usually make, so I am trying to make it a little bit shorter. Once I have the first flower petal done, I'm going to go ahead and use the mini lamp to flash cure it into place. You do have to make sure to flash cure each flower petal individually, otherwise you will ruin the flower petals as you move on to the next ones. For the next few flower petals, these are going to be the very small round ones. These are actually pretty easy to do compared to the pointy ones, just because all you have to do is create a little ball of polygel and smash a line down the center. I do like to kind of push the ends of the flower petal back towards the center, just to give it that 3D effect. Of course, once I have that flower petal, I'm going to go ahead and flash cure. Honestly, the hardest part of doing this 3D flower is probably going to be getting all of these small round ones to be the same size. That is probably the one thing that I do struggle with when it comes to doing 3D flowers, is trying to make all of the flower petals the exact same size. That honestly just comes down to how big your bead of polygel is. One thing I really like about doing 3D flowers with polygel is the polygel does not dry on its own. You do have to cure it for the product to harden. So that means you have as long as you need to get the perfect shape for your flower petals. I feel like working with acrylic is kind of similar but very different at the same time. I honestly don't know if I'd be able to do 3D flowers with acrylic just because I don't really work with acrylic that much, but I do want to try that. I do actually have it on my to-do list, so we'll see how soon I get around to trying that, but I'm very nervous. If you do 3D flowers with polygel, leave your favorite 3D acrylic brush down below in the comments. I do need to get a really good acrylic brush for 3D flowers before I attempt that. So honestly, at this point, I'm not quite sure how many flower petals I'm going to be doing. For the reference photo, she does have 5 small flower petals on each side. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that many just because this nail is a little bit shorter than the ones that she did. So we'll see how many I can fit, but I am going to try to do the same as her just because I love how her flower turned out. Honestly, the main thing is trying to make sure I can fit the rhinestone, the very long one, in between the flower petals. I do have the rhinestone already picked out. I just need to hold it up to the flower petals to see if it fits. I will test that out before I do the last pointed flower petal just to make sure I can fit it in between the flower petals. Some people that do 3D flowers with rhinestones in the middle do typically do the rhinestones first and then they build a flower around it. But I just feel like I'll get the product all over the rhinestone and then it won't look right. I do kind of need to try to learn to do it the other way just to make the process of doing the flower a little bit easier. So basically, like every time I've put rhinestones in the middle of my flowers, I've been so nervous if it's going to fit or not, especially the ones that have the big rhinestone and the smaller ones all around it. Those I basically hold my breath for and hope that all of the rhinestones fit. Luckily, so far, I haven't really had that issue, but I feel like it's going to come one day, so I need to learn the other way as well. So just because this is time consuming and I don't want to use up all of my storage only for the rest of the flower, I'm going to go ahead and do this side of these small flower petals. Okay, so after doing the left side of the flower petals, I measured out the thickness of the top pointed flower petal and I measured it down on the bottom. I don't think I'll be able to do one more flower petal on both sides, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the bottom flower petal now. I did hold up the rhinestone and it does fit in the center, so I think we're good. Again, it's just the same thing as the first one. I'm just starting with a bigger bead of polygel and I'm going to smash a line down the center and then go ahead and start shaping the flower petal. And of course, once I have the flower petal done, I'm going to go ahead and cure. So for the rhinestones, I will be using KIARA Sky's Sugar Rush. These are my favorite color rhinestones from KIARA Sky at the moment. I do have the very long rhinestone that is a very very similar color to these. So I am very happy that I have a color that matches because KIARA Sky does need some shaped rhinestones. I'm just going to go ahead and pour some out on the table. For the application of the rhinestone, I will be using KIARA Sky's Bling It On rhinestone gel as well as the applicator. So here is the very long rhinestone shape. I'm just going to go ahead and place it right here. To apply the rhinestone, I'm just taking some of the Bling It On gel and I'm just applying this in the center of the flower petals. Once the gel has been applied, I'm going to go ahead and place the rhinestone. KIARA Sky really needs to have some shaped rhinestones. I know they've had their rhinestones out for a while now, so I do feel like it's a really good time for them to start doing some different shapes. So honestly, I'm not even able to put smaller rhinestones above and below this one, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I will be placing a few of these small sugar rush rhinestones around the top portion of this index nail and around the snowflake on this nail. So to do that, I'm actually taking the dotting tool, picking up a tiny bit of the rhinestone gel. I'm going to dot it on where I want to place the rhinestones and then place them in here. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I've already applied the matte gel top coat and I don't want to go back and top coat around the textured nail design, so I am just working around that. Once I have all of the rhinestones placed, I am going to go ahead and cure. And here is the final nail design. If you are doing this on yourself or a client, you do want to make sure to apply a cuticle oil. This is my favorite one from KIARA Sky. I will have it linked down below. It smells absolutely amazing. So let me know what you guys think of this nail design down below in the comments. If you haven't already, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do make sure to hit subscribe because I do post weekly videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!